bounce at 7:15. Don't forget.
Yeah, yeah. No worries, John. I got this.
I figured you could pick up the slack, Dan.
Black.
I'm not convinced I know how to read. I've just memorized a lot of words.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
True. All life ends in death, which we, as a species, are cursed with knowing, resulting in something. Again, this is really not my field.
When you want to talk sports, you ask folks who have seen it all up close. So on The Al Travis Show, we go with the guys at the end of the bench. Time to talk all things sports.
We've got them, both John and Dan, and I did check today to see if they had a white towel. Neither one of them seems to be throwing it in quite yet, but it's got to be getting close. Your Minnesota Twins losing to the Nationals, a series there. Dan grabs something white.
I know it's good radio, but it's good radio. Yeah.
2 out of the 3 last series we have lost. 2 of those to the Nationals and the Rockies. Now the Dodgers thing, okay. Wow. Your thoughts on the weekend? We had one guy hit a home run on his first. Dan, John switches to his Vikings cap. That's what we're getting to, isn't it? Dan, tell me your thoughts on the weekend. One guy hits a home run yesterday. Abrams stole 3 bases, and they beat us 7-2. One guy single-handedly beat us.
Yeah, it was a rough. To say it's a rough weekend is a bit of an understatement. It's just the timing is just awful. But this was the show us you got something before the trade deadline, so we can so we can try to keep this, try to actually build rather than sell. And it's like not then that they just laid over. They just rolled over. I mean, it's the Washington Nationals. It's the Nationals. The Nationals are they're almost as bad as the Rockies. Not almost.
Which we laid an egg on as well. John, where are you at on this? I mean, it is so tough to just say I give up on them. But unless some huge trade happens that can get me excited, what do we have? 60 games left, something like that? It's going to be tough to bring me back.
No, it's not going to happen. They're not going to spend a lot of money when they're on the market. Dan and I and another friend were sort of texting over the weekend about, if they make some things here, who might be trade chips, maybe to get another pitcher or something like that. And there'll still be interest in some of those guys. It's just a question of which ones will be on the block, but they're done. I mean, and they missed an opportunity here because Detroit's been kind of in a free fall.
Yeah.
So there was room to make up ground and, get that down, cut down those games behind, but not going to happen.
Evidently, Detroit has had the worst 13 games in a row, like in the last 50 years. I mean, they've been blown out. But let's talk the trade thing just a little bit. So other than Buxton, maybe Ryan, I guess, you have to write it. Anyone having a season of note that we would be able to trade them when they're on the upswing, that we're trading them at their peak so we can get something for them. Dan, you almost said so. Is anybody, Bader, any of these people have something that says, wow, well, I mean, upside?
Bader and Castro. Yes, Castro and Bader, they are both going to be useful pieces. They would both be useful pieces to playoff contenders. Okay. Absolutely. There are plenty of teams that could use Castro, and he's on the upswing. The biggest downside from the Twins' perspective is that they are on expiring contracts, so they're not going to get as much. So they won't get as much in return. The guys that will get them something in return are the guys that are signed at least through next year. And we've got several, and that's why you're hearing Ryan's name thrown out there. I mean, Duran and Jax are both having Jax, even though his ERA is not good, they are still both having very solid years. Duran, I don't think there is, and get this right, I don't want to see him go. I really don't want to see him go. And he is probably at the peak of his possible value on the trade market right now, because he's still got 2 seasons of control left after this one, of team control. So I don't want to, again, I can't say enough, I don't want to see him go. And if he does go, they better get a haul for him. But
Well, what about
it does take away the excitement of what do you go to the games for this year?
other two pitchers? What about Paddock or that Columbus?
Columbus probably going to have.
Columbus.
Yeah, he's of interest. He's another guy that's expiring contract, but he's a very useful lefty veteran out of the bullpen. So again, if a team's looking for a single piece, they might get a little bit for him, but it still won't be a lot. But they'll get something.
Let's talk, John. Just give me your thoughts of this, and I come back at you, Dan. So whoever we have that someone might want, let's go Duran, because again, he's having a great season. Dan says he's at his peak. What do we want? What do we need? We need pitching. So you start selling your pitching off to get pitching. You start selling your pitchers off to get guys who can hit. What are we missing that we're looking for in a trade, except for future draft picks or something? What are we looking for?
Well, as inconsistent as the offense has been this year, it always comes down to pitching, right? It always comes down to pitching. And our staff has had its probably more than its share of challenges. Some of that's the guys, and some of that's not their fault because of injuries. But you would need another starter. It was a patchwork this year. I wouldn't be sorry to see Paddock go. I like him, but he's great one game, and then the next game he gives up 5 runs in the first inning, and it's like, I wouldn't want to see them. Pablo is our guy. He's hurt, but I still have great faith in him, and I think he's a really good pitcher. Ryan, oh boy, if they put him out there, we got to get a lot for that guy too. He's all-star. Even with his last, throw aside his last game, he is good. He's a guy that could grow and become a Cy Young contender.
Okay, so then I don't understand the process. You talk me right into the circle here. It's like, well, then why would you get rid of pitchers? The season's done. Because again, I'm looking at
because relievers are more. There's more of them available. You can have spot guys come in, and pitch an inning. We have guys on our team that could probably move into a closer role if we had to. So the loss of Duran would not be as significant as losing the starters.
Dan, do you believe that it's the pitching that we need compared to the hitting? Because I'm looking at the hitting now. I'm just looking at our average. Hitting. 241. Right now we have no one that's hitting anywhere close to a 300 even.
No, I mean, you seriously, the only players on the team that have had decent Buxton's having an out of this world offensive season. Yeah. But other than that, he's really high just talking about Castro, and Castro he's an above average offensive player. He's nothing special, but he's above average. So that's above average who can play anywhere. Absolutely. There's lots of value there, but otherwise
that's his value as a trade chip too, because he can play.
Yeah, but otherwise he's got this offense is, and I'm not sure I like what I see for the guys who we used to consider to be our core. The Larnach, Wallner, Lee, the up and coming core. I mean, I don't know. That's
they got here and they didn't make it. I don't think the big leagues was for them.
Wallner still might. I still have some hope for Wallner, but this season is a very big, huge disappointment. It's been a big step back for him. But Larnach is still he's a perfectly fine lefty against right-handed pitchers, but he's basically a platoon player.
John had to take off. He said he would, but you had an interesting game you wanted to play, and I'd like to do that because, again, just before we go to the break, is if you brought a hitter in, somebody who hits, is that infectious? Is this a hitting coach issue? Is this just his team has no confidence? What is with the hitting? Because you named all these players that were going to be the next big slice of stuff, and they haven't. What changes that?
They haven't. They just they haven't come through. You're always going to have with prospects. The goal with prospects is let's develop 4 or 5 or more that we think are ready for the big leagues, and then hope one of them actually ends up being something. I mean, because most prospects don't. Most prospects don't end up being anything special. I mean, Larnach has been Larnach's been a disappointment, but he's still been fine.
Yeah.
He's still been
All right.
fine, but I don't. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if they've already tried changing hitting coaches. I just think it's the talent evaluation and the talent development in the minor leagues. That's my big. I think that's my biggest concern is they're just not getting the offense. The pitching they're doing a pretty good job with, but yeah.
John hinted about it. You and your friends were talking about the over and under on trade deadline. Yeah. Let's play that game. On the other side, we'll discuss the over and under. How many Twins will not be with us by the trade deadline? We do that with now Dan from the guys at the end of the bench.
Braver Angels Minnesota is part of a national movement that brings together conservatives, liberals, independents, and others to restore trust, respect, and goodwill in politics. We seek not to eliminate our differences, but rather deal with them head on, with respect and understanding. We do not try to change people's views, but how they view the other side. There will always be differences. Braver Angels Minnesota believes the best way forward is to change how we deal with those differences. Join the civil conversation at mn.braverangels.org.
Do you have a closet full of old videos, photos, slides, or films? Regain that space and preserve those memories for future generations. Visit archivinglifemedia.com or call 952-829-8018. See how safe and simple it is to digitize all your media. Gain peace of mind knowing that all those important memories will be saved and can be seen and shared again. Do it today. Check out archivinglifemedia.com or give them a call, 952-829-8018.
You don't need to ask him his opinion more than once. Al Travis on The Al Travis Show.
So I was coming back from Milwaukee yesterday, and I had this text from Dan and John talking about their over and under game. So I had hours to think about this, and I can't wait to play this game with you, Dan. So Dan said, let's play the over and under on how many people will be traded from the Twins by the trade deadline. And I'm letting you set that number, Dan. What is the number you believe is the over under?
I am going with 2.5. Now, for over under, just like with scores, we always like to have a half or games won and that, because it's that's always kind of the given. Because,
easy the tiebreaker.
It's got to have a clear winner.
And are you going over or under that number?
That's the reason why I set it where it is, because it really is the tough one. Because I honestly do think at least 2 of the 6 players with expiring contracts are gonna be gone. So I'm going with 2.5. Because I think, and then then it's the question of, is there going to be a third?
I
And
think we're
the
blowing
Twins-
three out. We're blowing three out of the water. I think it's 3
But the
plus.
Twins-
Here's
yeah.
why.
Okay.
I think either Jax or Duran are gone. They're not keeping them both because I think they can kind of fill each other's spot. I think Duran is gone. He's got more upside. That we can get more for Duran, in my oh so humble opinion. Bader's out of there. Sorry, Bader, love you. You're out of there. So then you got Willie Castro. We talked about. I believe he goes. He's worth something else. He's got his money. That gives me a 3. Having talked about Paddock or Columbine or whatever in the world his name is yet. And so I'm thinking I've got 4. And here's the one. What was Arise name, right? Arise? We had the guy who was the batting champion, and we got rid of him. I'm telling Joe Ryan, start packing your bags. I think this team will sell this cat because he's our guy, get the most for him. I think we could be at 5. I'm calling 4.
Ooh.
Your over and under is under. I'm sorry. Tell me I'm wrong.
It could be. It might be. I'm gonna. So just for the sake of having fun with this, I'm gonna go.
Yep.
I'm gonna go under.
Okay.
And only because of the history of this front office is to be not only conservative at the trade deadline, but downright inactive. But that's the last couple of years when they needed to buy, when they weren't buying. Now they're basically in sell mode. Now, when I say they're sell mode, and I say we're giving up as of the trade deadline. If they going to run if they going to run here in the final 60 games, great. But that's just bonus at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think. I still don't think. But that's
What's it do for you on the money thing, though? Here's my point. They've got to make these books look fantastic. You dump as much as you can. Get a bunch of future guys that you don't even have contracts you got to worry about. If they make the books look better, they might get this thing sold.
There's a possibility. I don't know that the books make a huge difference, but it might.
Okay.
It definitely could. But
How
there's a lot of names.
Since the Rise days, how disappointing is this for the ultimate Twins fan, which you are, to go through these last couple of years where they don't even seem to put the squeeze on to go to the next level?
The difference with Arise is that they got back high-level major league talent in return.
Okay.
They got they got Lopez.
Yeah, so that doesn't bother.
The trade deadline, they are not going to get high-level major league talent. The best they're looking for is high prospects who are in AAA and really just at the borderline of being ready for the majors.
Okay.
So not this year yet, basically, is what I'm saying. So that's what they got when they got Joe Ryan, when they traded Cruz. They traded Cruz to get Joe Ryan. The Twins looked at him and thought that he was just about ready, and he was.
And do we have any idea? Do we have any idea who's actually looking at buying the Twins? Is there anybody out there that says, "Wow"? I mean, A-Rod for the Timberwolves. At least I knew who that was. I got excited. He's like a billionaire in the Lawrence. Mm-hmm. We have anybody even sniffing around that anyone would know?
I think after the Ishbia fiasco, there is no interest in letting. I mean, they're going to Disney level of controls to say we are not going to let anybody. We are not going to let anybody know what's going on here.
That's fair enough. Now the Gophers, they have practice. The Vikings now are in preseason form. Are we finally glad something to be chatting about that we have an opportunity to enjoy?
For those who celebrate, I would say absolutely yes, it is. For those who celebrate the holiday of training camp opening, which I know to a lot of people, it's just like spring training for me. So this is an exciting time.
Well, just as we sit here and we lose the last 3 series against 2 really bad teams, it is very tough right now. I'm looking for something positive in my sports news. Even the Lynx lost to the Dream last night, 90-86. Got to fly, my friend. Appreciate you.
See ya.
Guys in the end of the bench on the Al Travis Show.
Dust from livestock buildings can be harmful to your